Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of the talk show. Today, the guest is Mr. Prashant Jadhav. He's from the hospitality industry and is, of course, an ex-student of Garhwale. He's been my student too. Very proud to say so. And today works for a five-star hotel in Kolkata as a revenue director. So let's get going. Let's get into the horse's mouth. How did he go about doing his career? What did he plan? What did he execute? And just short span of time, how did he achieve these goals in life? To start with, the Prashant, what is this position called revenue director, and what's your job profile in this area to start with? Yes.
Sure. First of all, good morning to you, sir, and good morning to all our viewers. Basically, I currently operate as a head of revenue management for the five-star hotel. It's a job role basically that that's basically a specialist role basically. So what I do for the hotel is basically I manage and work on a demand that is there for the hotel. So my job aspect has a multiple aspects to it. So basically, I manage pricing for this hotel.
Okay.
I manage distribution for this hotel. I manage other collaboration with other departments. I manage forecasting, budgeting for the hotels. So basically, right from long-term strategies to short-term strategies for the hotel, tactical strategies to the hotel.
Yeah.
This is a part of job profile.
Interesting. So you've got a little bit of marketing, a little bit of being strategist, a little bit of looking into the future. So combined with pricing too.
Yeah, pricing is just as one aspect of it, but revenue manager essentially, see, in short, what people say is that revenue manager job is to get hotel filled.
Yeah.
Or make maximum or optimize revenue in any situation. When you have a low demand, you still have to make a optimum money, not a maximum, but optimum, which you can make at that point. And when you obviously have a high demand, you capitalize on demand patterns and yield. So basically, revenue management is as a concept, it started with airlines actually, long back actually, in 1917, 60s, close to that period in US. I guess United Airlines which started it.
Okay.
They started pricing their seats differently, and then hotel slowly adapted it. Now we started dynamic pricing and other aspect.
Okay.
So all these aspects are managed by me. This is basically generally in hotels one or two members team who are highly specialized in their subject matter.
Really,
So
Prashant,
that's my job
very interesting, and very, very proud of you that you have reached this position. But my viewers would like to know, where did you start from after finishing the diploma in Garhwale? What was your stepping stone, and what was the way of catching the rope and coming till here? So where did you start from?
So I completed my diploma in travel and tourism management from Garhwale, and post that I did few jobs. I was in I was in travel industry for some time.
Okay.
For 3 years I did learn how to plan tours, how to do airline ticketing, how to interact with the customer. That is a critical point. And how to make hotel reservations, how to add markup and all. That helped me to get a job in a Hyatt reservation center.
Correct.
So with that as a base, actually I started working within the hotel reservation system. I was then selected for a TLDP, which is the Management Development Program of Hyatt. So I got in that. So basically, when I was working in a Hyatt reservation center, my obviously endeavor was to do best and do things that are probably unique, or all others are not doing. So that helped me to get into this program, management training program, because I was doing slightly better than others. So I got through it in program. In that program, actually, I was given exposure to many things, like reservations department in hotel. It was a shared services concept. So it had all the things like from loyalty to make reservation, to quality control, to group reservations, to crew reservations, to a technical aspect of a hotel, which is a backend data structuring and all those things. How to update data, and then which goes to GDS and other distribution channel, alternate distribution channel. So all these things were done by me. This is a little technical aspect of the job I was actually given. I was given a technical aspect of handling data services part of it. I was identified for that, and I got into that. So that helped me. Again, step one was to get into reservation. Step two was to get into uh, management development
Core area.
and specifically data services. That helped me to get to the revenue analyst role. So the revenue analyst role in the hotel, obviously,
Before we go into the revenue analyst, this is for my young aspirants. They are more keen about how to get into this. So it doesn't matter if it's a small booking agency, hotel booking agency, or a big name like Thomas Cook. The matter is that you need to get the right exposure in the beginning. Am I right? Am I right when I say that to build a career in hotel?
right. See, I never worked with these big names actually. I started with a smaller agency with
Correct.
the staff of 4 or 6 actually.
Correct.
And apparently, I used to handle a whole lot of things actually. Advantage of you working in a small setup, any industry, you get to do a lot of things.
Correct.
I did travel planning. I did airline ticketing. I did you know costing of the things, licensing with the other, going to other corporates, going to other associations, selling them when Airlecan has introduced. I had opportunity to introduce that low pay cost airline. I promoted that airline with a local community,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
visiting other associations of senior citizens and other associations that are located in that area,
Right.
and educating them basically. And obviously, when you educate, you build your own PR as well.
Right.
So all these things were done, when I was just a travel agent or
Right.
travel consultant.
Right.
So this gave me a lot of exposure and confidence, obviously, to deal with the customer. Right, tour planning help you to understand, negotiate with the people, know their requirement, put across the itinerary that you made. And obviously sometimes you have a client who have 10, 15 changes in the itineraries, the personalized itineraries, and then you cope up with that. That basically gave me understanding as to how to interact with the people. And when I got into job for a Hyatt as a reservation agent, that helped me to get in, also to do better and crack that job interview, because I had base knowledge, which was required to understand basic concept of the hotel, how hotel kind of communication works,
Correct.
and that obviously helps you to do slightly better than others who were actually there for an interview. So I cracked it. I cracked that interview and got into Hyatt. So
So I would
industry experience of a small company does help a lot.
So I would tell the viewers again, especially the young aspirants, yeah, it is not the big name always that you have to start with. Average student, okay, average student, maybe not uh, you know carved very well in all aspects of interviews concerned, as far interviews concerned. But yes, you can start small, work in all profiles, and yet build your personality and your knowledge so that you can launch yourself in a bigger company. That's what again Prashant is saying. Yesterday, Ganesh told us that. Prashant says the same thing today. All right. Prashant, the question is how much of this diploma in travel and tourism helped you to join hotel industry? Does that knowledge help you in a sense? Did it give you a launch pad? How do you look at it?
See, diploma in travel tourism was a really good decision that I made in my life. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get into job as early as possible.
Okay.
Okay, so this helped me to get a job first place.
Mm.
Then see, once you get a job, it is up to you what you do with how much you put into your job. So that does help. But technical aspect of the job, travel and tourism, the course was such a well defined that it covered all the aspects. It actually gave us more than what we do in the industry.
Correct.
You know, a diploma prepares you at a different level.
Mm.
It teaches you what is the basic level of job that you are going to do, and it also tells you what you'll do as a CEO at the company.
Mm.
If you actually really look at the content that we teach.
Mm.
So if you ask me my experience to get into the job, the education that I have received in Garware
Mm.
has helped me in multi layers of my career. Actually, first level of the career, I got my technical skills. I was aware of the concept that industry expect you to know or understand, and how you can effectively communicate those. So that aspect, once you know this aspect, what are the different meal span, what is the travel itinerary, how it is made, what is how agent communicate with the hotels and all those things. what are the key points or key things that hotelier thinks or what a travel agent thinks, and how to bridge the gap to make a common ground that helps you to be ahead of the crowd actually. So when I started first to get into a travel industry, my project work, a final project that I did help, because I got my first job, to be frank, in travel industry basis man a research project that I did in final semester. I was actually a skinny, shy guy who could who actually was a little shy to communicate and all, but I could communicate, made my project the best because I was confident in talking about that. So I got my first job through that. Then going ahead in hotel industry, technical understanding of how hotel structure is, how the reservation department works. Having worked in a travel industry in a reservation department helped me to get into hotels reservation teams, and that's how I got into it. So technical aspect, I would say that that were taught in college do help you to crack the job, get into job, and obviously second aspect of the job is communication and your project work that you do. That help you from mid level to top level. So that is where whatever is learned doesn't go waste. Actually, some point of time you get to apply this.
Uh-huh.
Is what I firmly believe. So second leg of your career, when you graduate team leader and above, when you get into actually management side, actually, that's where you come to understand, concept that were taught in management, concept that were taught in marketing, concept that were taught in communication, effective communication. All these things do combine together and obviously help you to grow as a professional, and obviously make your impression
Impressive.
in industry. So it helps you at a multiple level, I would say.
Prashant, from what you spoke, because this would be a big tip for all the youngsters. You said that you used your project, your final project that you made for your interview or for your first placement is concerned. How did you use it? Everybody would like to know it, and that would be a guiding light to all the youngsters is concerned. How did you use it? What happened?
So basically, in typical interview, you should know how to. Whenever I prepare for an interview, I prepare a adaptability study for myself.
Mm.
How adaptable I am to that job description.
Mm.
So I first read job description, then I figure out what are the things that I have, and I can talk about, or probably I can bring that topic subtly and and put that in discussion. So when I was preparing for this interview, I would obviously know that they will ask you what is your strength and weaknesses.
Yeah. Mm.
So when he started asking me about what is your strength, I said I love working on projects and all. I love to do detailed work,
Mm.
and I'm happy to say that I did my project on this topic,
Mm.
and I got this grades.
Mm.
And these were the key elements of this project that I personally feel that I have learned a lot from him, a lot from this project actually,
Mm.
and can be used in an industry given a chance.
All
So
right.
that's how I was able to get this topic in, talk on that, and take it ahead.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Uh, a very apt questions again for the younger generation. Um, what is that you acquired in the 20 years when you started in 15 years when you started your career, and now in this 15 years you said yes, this is what I lacked as a student, as a youngster, not a student, as a youngster, and after 15 years, yes, this is the area where I have shaped myself up, and what are the reasons for that? Can you put some light on that?
See, when I was actually actually before even I came to Garware,
Yeah.
I knew that I'm very shy guy actually.
Yeah.
I need to work a lot on my communication skills.
Yeah.
And obviously during my college days, there was a lot of emphasis in the communication skills which is given.
Yeah.
So literally for my first interaction, when even for first interview before you got into, you after clearing a test, you have an interview.
Correct.
So I knew that it's going to be tough for me to crack the interview because I was shy guy, introvert kind of person. So for me, then what you do? What you do? I said, what I can do about it? Can I be a fluent communicator overnight? I can't be.
Yeah.
So I said, let's practice.
Yeah.
So I started practicing, and I got into Garware. Then, fortunately, when I got into Garware, there's a lot of focus which was done in communication, presentation. A lot of group projects were there. A lot of individual projects were there. So all these projects, obviously, it helps you to understand what is subject matter in detail, and it also helps you to articulate whatever you have put across in a project and present it. So this is articulation of information, or whatever you have done is a critical skill in a corporate world. Actually, many people do a good work, but they're not able to articulate information and present before it, and they lag behind. I have seen myself. So this is something that I started to understand. This is a very important skill at the beginning, and my strategy to go with it was basically to practice and then to understand information, then how to present information differently or uniquely with the help of other things. When you're doing a presentation, take help of presentation, take the help of charts, and then you go ahead and understand the center idea of the communication that you're talking, and then talk on basis of that, simplify the
That's
content,
great.
and give it to the end consumer who can understand it well. So keeping things basic core of my communication, because I work as a head of revenue, I work with a lot of data. So for me, the critical or challenging part in current days is basically how to articulate information, a complex information, make it simple, and put it to consumer, which is my probably a general manager or director of sales and marketing. So this is a critical communication. So from person who was basically practicing to get an interview crack, to the person who was conversing with a client across the counter, to the person who was presenting his business ideas or project, to the person who's communicated complex, data,
Data.
and obviously derivations of data, making strategies out of that and presenting strategies to management is the journey that I have covered in this period of time. If you talk about the skill that I lacked.
So, friends, I want to just ascertain the same thing. Prashant has been very honest enough to say I was a shy guy when I started my career, and today is a director in a multinational five-star hotel. That means it's not impossible. Okay, and as he said, communication practice is what matters. We go ahead with our we go ahead with our talk show. The second half of it. Now we'll discuss about what Prashant understands about the hotel industry and how it is working, how his working is all about. Prashant, talking about hotel industry in the last 30, 40 years, what is it you've seen in the 15 years time, how the hotel industry has shaped or changed in general? Not nothing in particular, but in general. How do you look at it?
See, hoteliering in India actually has evolved a lot actually. Uh, like for example, the company that I've worked in terms of share growth actually, we were just 5 hotels in India to now 29 and 30 hotels in India. So that's the magnitude that I'm talking about next last 10 years. So it is a multiple growth for a company. You have multiple brands. See, what is happening in hotel industry? It is a growing industry for sure. It provides a lot of job. Hospitality industry, if you see, it provides a huge amount of job. So so that is a potential of the travel industry. It has a lot to offer. So hotel industry from basic, when you had there was a cap actually in industry. You had a base hotels which are non-branded hotels.
Correct.
Then you had a five-star deluxe hotel which are like people
Huge
say
gap.
can't get into it,
Correct.
very expensive ones.
Yeah.
So from that there was obviously base of pyramid,
Correct.
that people realized there is a base of pyramid and they started filling the gap. So then you had number of four-star hotel increasing, number of three-star hotel increasing, number of two-star hotel increasing. Now what we see with the advancement of these companies like your Oyo,
Yeah.
your Ginger Hotels,
Yeah.
your Keys Hotels, all
Yeah.
these companies are basically trying to provide a detail a, a brand experience at a reasonable cost. So that's obviously how the industry has broadened its
And
base.
yeah.
And then obviously even the positive thing is that upscale and upper upscale and luxury market in India is also evolving a lot.
Mhm.
See, the if you see 10, 15 years, what were brands in India? We only had Taj. We only had bigger brands like Oberoi's. Hyatt was there with a very few hotels.
Yeah.
Hilton was there with again very few hotels. But now all these bigger brands like international brands like Hyatt, Hilton, your car, which is a Novotel brand that they have in India. They are actually developing and expanding their brands in India. So this is what is changing in the industry. From basically a base of pyramid is increasing as well as height of pyramid is also increasing. So
Overall.
it is a growth in all the direction, I would say, as far as the hotel industry is concerned in last 15 years.
Adding to that, general inquisitiveness. Not everybody can visit a five-star hotel. So the product lines, the service lines in India, is it really the Stargate hotels do give international product line, or is there a variation in the two when you go to Dubai or when you go to Singapore and when you see in India? Is there a variation?
Uh, I see international brands have very strict guidelines about brand experiences. So everything is written and documented, how you will serve the guest, how you will welcome the guest. All these things are basically written, documented, and the training modules are aligned to it. So that brand experience across the hotels is same. Even in it starts from design. If, for example, I work for Hyatt. So when you visit a Hyatt Regency in India and when you visit a Hyatt Regency in Dubai, you'll find some kind of similarities in the product, right? From the product perspective, when you go to service, obviously the service that you'll get in Hyatt Regency and
Yeah.
service that you'll get in Hyatt Regency in probably Dubai will be the same. Actually, the same set of questions will be asked to you. Person will be smiling, warm,
There is
and very
standardization.
professional.
Yeah.
So basically, everything is standardized when you come to international companies, and every brand has a different kind of interaction model defined, or touch points defined. So from that perspective, obviously experience that hotel brands wants you to get is basically the same. But if you ask me what happens in reality, core brand experience stays the same. Okay,
Maybe a
but
little alteration delivery.
delivery alteration because of the cultural
Yeah.
aspects of the
Yeah.
community. So in India, it is a little different than what is it in Europe or Dubai.
Yeah.
So India people are more warm, they're more hospitable, they're more welcoming, and probably elsewhere you go, probably people are more professional in terms of their interaction. I would not say that they're not warm and all, but their interaction. So India, Indians, we are very hospitable community or country.
Right.
So Atiti Deva Bhava is our culture actually. So that is evident when you walk into any hotel, a 5-star, maybe 2-star or 5-star hotel. That is evident across. So that's where the probably difference is, I would say.
I think this conversation will go for a longer time, but we are in tight press with time is concerned. The last question is that uh, you have worked. I know you have worked in Goa for a long time. You have worked in Mumbai for a long time, and now you're working in Kolkata. Okay, so in the same
Hmm.
industry, but in three different cities of India in hospitality, hotels
Hmm.
particularly. So, what's the difference? If you can explain to us in a small nutshell, uh, how is it different? What has been your experience?
See, when I was thinking about my career planning or career strategy, I wanted to work in different markets, and that's the reason I've been moving across. Goa was obviously a leisure market. I love Goa. Basically, it's a very nice place to be. It's
Who will
very
not
nice.
love
The
Goa?
work quality of life is very good. But from the destination and the industry perspective, very Goa has tourism, which is a very critical part of the economy. It contributes a lot to the economy, and foreign tourists do visit Goa a lot. So from that perspective, Goa has a different level of importance given to hotel industry. So right from the Department of Tourism Marketing to a trade show abroad in probably Russia, where the charter comes. So all these things are done very nicely in terms of marketing for Goa. Goa has also good road network. It's a very small state, but when I compare roads in Goa to any other probably a metro, the roads in Goa, basic infrastructure I can say is far better. The roads are basically narrow, but they're good quality roads in Goa. You can enjoy driving in Goa. So that thing is there. Beaches in Goa are very clean. So Goa as a state understand how to nurture and maintain its assets, which is tourism assets. That is a very good part about Goa, and people. I really appreciate Goa Tourism Board and Goa government for that. Actually, apart from that, Goa government plays very tactically when it comes to understanding demand and generating demand. So generating a demand, obviously, one part is the marketing, another part is what government can do. So Goa government, when I used to work in Goa, they used to have a season of season taxes. So in season, obviously, when you have international tourists coming in with high propensity to spend, taxes were higher. During monsoon period, they were low, so that domestic travelers could visit Goa. So from that perspective, Goa, I would say, very smartly managed destination.
And
Coming to Mumbai, sorry.
yeah, 30 seconds each, because we may run out of time. 30
Sure, sure.
seconds for Mumbai and 30 seconds for Kolkata.
See, Goa, after that, Mumbai, I was working for Mumbai for other hotels, not for the Mumbai hotels. So working in Mumbai is obviously very competitive, that, whichever company you work, I was working from Mumbai for a hotel in Udaipur, Alila Palace, Udaipur. But the environment, Mumbai has a different sort of energy that is where. So that is what Mumbai. But going to the Kolkata as a government has a decent following tourism policy. They have very good support system in tourism. The tourism ministry in Kolkata spend a lot of efforts in marketing across the country, across the different countries. Actually, there's a talk show, trade show, Europe and all. So that way, the Kolkata Tourism Board is also active, you can say.
All right.
And Kolkata market as such is a cheaper market than Goa. So
okay.
Kolkata is where you can actually live a lavish life in a reasonable money.
Okay.
So that's Kolkata.
Right. All right, viewers. We had Prashant's views on about how to get going, how he got going with his career, 1, and 2 on hotel industry in general. The part 2 is even more interesting. It is his views on how post-COVID the hospitality industry will react and get back to its feet. And the second half will be how to get into hotel industry, have tips, have the guidelines, have the counseling of a starter. Which way can he go today, and how can he reach where he has reached, or more than that, if not, nothing else. Thank you, Prashant. Thanks a lot. Goodbye till we see you the next time.
Thanks, sir.
Bye-bye.